What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant back again, episode 24 of the One of One Morning Show. I am your host. Thank you all for joining me. Good morning, good morning. We finna talk some sports, but before we get into it, if y'all don't mind, please hit the like button. Also, drop your comments and thoughts on all topics today, as well. Share the video, man, if you don't mind, as it does help the channel grow. Does a little bit of ad goes along, a little bit of help, excuse me, goes a long way. Um, and as well, hit the notification bell so you could be dropping. I gotta get the coffee in my bloodstream, y'all. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. I definitely appreciate it. And shout out to y'all, man. Let's get to work. As I got a couple topics today. It's a couple things I want to talk about, but I'm about to uh, bite down and get some stuff done in the pre-recorded. But today we're gonna talk about a couple topics, man. Get it out the way real quick. One second, let me text Mrs. Savant. Let her know the baby Savants are okay. All right, gotta let Mama Bear know what's going on. She will make sure of it. But let's get to work. As today we got a number of topics at hand. Tonight, NBA Finals Game 5. A lot of interesting things, storylines going on there. Man, I don't know if it's just me, but I just felt like the NBA Finals have been kind of a, how can I say this? Been kind of a lull. Uh, I am excited for the Boston Celtics. In fact, I'm really not excited for the Boston Celtics, but I'm excited for the Boston Celtics to see if they can get the job done. I'm excited for Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. That's it. Drew Holiday, I rock with him. Derek White. I'm excited for their crew. I could care less if Boston wins it. I want to see the Jays vindicated. But tonight we're getting Game 5. I believe we're back in Boston. And after that, uh, man, that bloodbath of Game 4, there's a lot of questions surrounding Game 5, quite naturally. Will the Boston Celtics bounce back? Did the Dallas Mavericks find something that they can build on and perhaps be the first team to come back from 3-0, the 3-0 deficit? As we know, history is against them, as well as the 2023-2024 stats, as the Boston Celtics have been the best or one of the best teams in the league on both sides of the basketball. Um, as far as my prediction goes, you know, I don't think the Dallas Mavericks really have any smoke for the Boston Celtics, y'all. I think the Dallas Mavericks are very talented. I think they're a fun team to watch between Kyrie and Luca. But as far as team philosophy, team basketball, um, the Boston Celtics should wrap up this series tonight. You know, and understandably, on the road they dropped the ball, which was shocking to me. If you rock with me on Twitter, I'm sure you know some of my opinions surrounding that particular game. But it was shocking to me because the Boston Celtics were not just one of the top teams in the league, ladies and gentlemen, but all through this playoff run, they have been undefeated. So, um, that I don't think a team that has figured things out. I don't think a team with as much experience as the Boston Celtics would all of a sudden just lay an egg. So, we had to throw some sports opinions, some sports theories out there. I'm not going to get into that as far as this show. If you don't mind, though, rock with your boy. Follow me on Twitter, Tony the Savant, Twitter X, whatever you call it, as I do like to do my little updates as far as what's going on with the games at that time. I used to try to play call, but that's not really my strength. So we get busy on Twitter building up that platform. But um, yeah, I just was surprised that the Boston Celtics wasn't able to wrap this up in 4, get the sweep. But um, I'm fully expecting them to figure things out tonight. Kristaps Porzingis was available for Game 4, but Coach Mazzulla elected Coach Joe Mazzulla. elected to not use him for whatever reason. So I'm sure he'll make an executive decision tonight to include Kristaps Porzingis. At least I'm hoping, so we can wrap this NBA Finals up. Not completely entertained by it. I don't like Luka's play style. That's probably my number one thing right now. And excuse me for the Luka's fans out there. I've just been around the game of basketball long enough to know that hero ball era is long gone. It's good in theory, to play the hero ball. I guess it's entertaining for the young fans and the guys that just like to see points and highlights. But for me, team ball is king, and that's why I've been kind of rooting for the Boston Celtics. Not just because of that, but just I like to see that style of basketball a lot more than one dude running around scoring 30, 40, 50 points. If it works, if it's successful, then hey, let's do it. But at the end of the day, the Dallas Mavericks play a very uh, a la 2012 Oklahoma City Thunder style of basketball, where it's just Kyrie goes or Luka goes, the same way it used to be Kevin Durant goes or Russell Westbrook goes. But that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I've been getting a lot of people offended by my opinions lately, whatever. Um, but at the end of the day, for you Luka fans, that's just my take. Now, if Luka is able to pull it off, then hey, we've seen Hero Ball be successful. It's just it hasn't been successful in 20, 30 years. Team ball has been king these last few decades almost in the basketball game. So again, let's see what happens. Also, Kyrie Irving on the docket. Let's see what the homie do there. Y'all know I'm a big Kyrie Irving fan. Kyrie had a big game three. I believe he scored like 35 points that day on that game. Uh, so he had a big game three. Excuse me, was it? No, game four he scored 21. First two games, it was an APB out there for Kyrie. Um, I'm excited to see what he's gonna do tonight. Kyrie is the X factor for me. We all know Kyrie has a solidified. We all know Kyrie got a solidified legacy in this game as an elite point guard. But I'm also interested to see what Kyrie can do as far as elevating his game on the championship level. Now, we all seen him do it in 2016. We all know that he's capable. But that was playing with a guy with the likes of LeBron James, a generational talent in his own right, a guy that can get the job done if he has a crew around him. So a lot of Kyrie's success has been attributed to LeBron James. I'm interested to see if Kyrie can kind of, distance himself from LeBron James and solidify his own legacy with some big performances and another championship ring tonight. Again, it's been a mixed bag from him. The first two games we couldn't find Kyrie, and it was in Boston. Happenstance, like I said, tonight again we're in Boston. Um, but I'm interested. Kyrie has not been horrible, but he's not been himself. I would go through the facts and figures, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm trying to get this show off before the kids get up real quick. So forgive me. I don't have my notes in front of me. I usually like to go through the facts, figures, and then go through my opinions. But we're just popping out the takes tonight, this morning, excuse me. And like I said, I'm excited to see what Kyrie does tonight. Legendary player. Can he give us a few more legendary performances? And at this point, Kyrie, we would only require three more performances, three signature Kyrie performances. I think we'll get the job done if the Mavericks are able to pull off the miracle of being the first team in 157 tries to come back from 3-0. As history is against them, the current record for teams that have reached the 3-0 deficit in the NBA Finals, or if it's just a playoff series period, but let's just run with the NBA Finals. It's 150. No, it has to be. It has to be the total playoff series, because that'd be crazy just to get down 3-0 156 times in the NBA Finals. But I believe teams in the 3-0 deficit across sports or even across the basketball, they all have come up short. And reaching their goal of winning the series. Uh, Kristaps Porzingis, like I said earlier, will be available. It's going to be a matter of how Coach Joe Mazzulla wants to use him, and all that kind of stuff. I know he was a bit on of a restriction in Game 4, and this can, if I can, man, just speak to that for a second. Kristaps Porzingis, this has been the number one issue as far as his career goes. Nobody has questioned Kristaps Porzingis' talent. I think that Kristaps Porzingis is a dog. He got that heart. He definitely will play ball with you. He could get physical, as the Dallas Bigs have tried to get physical with him. Just because he's a Euro player, I guess. But Kristaps been holding his own, man. In all regards. So I believe that his presence on the basketball court give the Boston Celtics that much more better chance to get this series wrapped up, as he can offset what the bigs do. He can stop a lot of those alley oops. I believe the Dallas Mavericks only had like two alley oops in the NBA Finals up until Game 4, and then that game they had like 8 or 9. Something crazy. So Kristaps Porzingis for me is much of an X factor. Excuse me, X factor as Kyrie Irving is. I believe Kristaps is the same, holds the same weight for the Boston Celtics. Can we get three, not legendary, but three more decent performances from Kristaps Porzingis? And when I say decent, I mean, maybe 16, 18, 20 points. We don't need Kristaps to explode for no 30 or 40. But definitely another 20 burger. Um, and maybe, 20, 25 minutes on the court. I believe the Boston Celtics, that's a key to them wrapping up this series. Coach Mazzulla has been very impressive, keeping a very level head. I like the adjustments he made. Will he adjust for Game 5 as well after taking that shellacking in Game 4? Um, like I said, I think the Boston Celtics can easily recalibrate, get back to what they was doing the first 3 games, containing Luka, and you know, uh, essentially what I think the Boston Celtics are doing is allowing Luka or Kyrie to get off, get their points, and then shutting down the other one as well as shutting down the quote unquote others, the role players. I think the Boston Celtics executed that game plan to a T the first 3 games. And so, like I said, I think they can easily get back to that tonight and go ahead and secure themselves an 18th championship, raise that 18th banner, and have the Boston Celtics at the top of the NBA hill once again. They are very familiar there. I think this would give them the most championships in NBA history. So, I'm excited for the Jays. I'm not excited for Boston. And I guess I'll have to explain that later for the sake of time. But ladies and gentlemen, if you all don't mind, please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content on the channel. A little bit of help goes a long way, and I just can't thank y'all enough, man. For everyone that has shown love and support to the channel, I thank y'all. I greatly appreciate it. And let's get back to work, man. Let's get back. Oh, before I do that, can I do a short promo for my new show, Double Down Sports Debates? Now y'all know I got a couple shows. I do a couple, collabs. Always running around, willing to do a feature on the YouTube streets. But this show right here is the one. This is what I've been working on since day one. As you all know, I came into this game a big fan of the ESPN First Take, ESPN Cold Pizza era, and so I've always kind of wanted to have my own debate show in this sports realm. That's just kind of like my thing. That's what I want to do. So many lanes you could take in the sports world for sure, but I would like a nice debate platform where we can get back to talking sports and re-educate the sports fan, because there's a lot of dudes out here that that just cap, man. They just cap and troll. And I guess I got to do a little bit better on my end of life and just understanding that, because some of these dudes, man, it gets a little mind numbing, and I get annoyed, and I send you to the gulags quick. just block you. But I'm getting better at that. Like I say, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really do the back and forth thing. And I also I love opinions that are opposite of mine. What I don't really care for is the trolls. You know, the cats that just go too far. Got nothing to do with sports. They just insulting you, and it's like, all right, brother. You know, I'm here. This is fun for me. I didn't come. I don't come to sports to be stressed out. But nonetheless, double down sports debates will allow us to get back to the basics, get back to the games, and get back to the real X's and O's. You know, a lot of people claim that they know X's and O's, so we don't put it to the test. We're gonna have 3 rounds, 2 debaters, 1 winner. You know, and eventually down the line, I'm gonna have a couple tournaments just to kind of get the name out there. But we are assembling some tournaments right now. Excuse me, some tournaments right now with cash prizes for the first, second, and third place winners, as well as some endorsement opportunities. Hopefully, we can set up some cats that got sports platforms. Link you up with some people that got some things that's going on in sports that's not necessarily dropping content or in front of the camera. Like I say, it's a number of lanes you can take in this sports world, and so my job, my gift from God is I have an incredible talent for networking, linking up with people, building relationships. I spent 25 years in corporate America, and that was pretty much my thing, management and sales. So I know I'm pretty good with assembling teams, managing teams, and all that kind of stuff. But this right here, like I say, is going to allow for me to partner up with different people in different lanes in this world. So I'm going to get too long with it with the promo. Double Down Sports Debates. We're gonna get that popping next week, and then we'll go on from there. Gonna probably have to wait till after the NBA season is over, as I just got too much going on. You know, too much going on. He was covering these NBA finals. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta get to the next topic. As if you're in the boxing world, you're a boxing fan. It depends on what side of history you own when it comes to boxing. You probably feel some kind of way, or you're probably very happy that Floyd Mayweather has done it again, manipulating things behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, this is I don't always endorse Floyd Mayweather's incognito moves and his pettiness, but I like this one. Good job, Floyd. Well done. As Floyd released a full 20-minute, it's really 19, but let's just go with the 20, like for the round number. But the full 20-minute sparring video of Javante Tank Davis and Devin Dream Haney. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not aware about this particular sparring tape, it has a lot of history attached to it. As when I first got into the boxing game, Floyd was the man, and you can tell in this sparring tape, this was during the time when Floyd was the man. So you had an up and coming Javante Davis, and then you had a virtually unknown 16-year-old Devin Haney sparring, doghouse rules, big money on the line. For years, we have heard different stories about this sparring tape. We have heard lies about this sparring tape, and so it's interesting, just to see this thing for yourself. I watched it. I've watched it many a times. I've watched a few people cover it, and I'm gonna just say, as far as myself goes, this is great. This is fantastic, man. This is everything I wanted to see because Javante Tank Davis groupies, not the fans. Shout out to the Tank Davis fans, real ones in the crowd. But it's a subsect of Javante Tank groupies um, that just they don't think this man is fallible, man. I guess I don't know why. For me, it's phenomenal as Javante Tank Davis's talents and skills are. The man has not been challenged. He has not been pushed to the brink. He does not fight fighters that I believe will push him to the brink. As styles makes fights, and oftentimes Javante Davis fights people with styles that are, conducive to him being successful in the ring. What do I mean? Non true athletes, guys with not a lot of championship experience, or guys that are flat-footed and past their primes. If you look through Javante Davis's resume, now like I said, this ain't for the Javante Tank Davis groupies. If you are triggered and you're gonna be saying some crazy stuff, just see yourself out the door, man. This is my opinion. And I'm not the only one that shares it. But if you go through Javante Tank Davis's resume, it's light work. It's very light work. So um, his fans, they run around harassing everybody, talking crazy, like this man is unfallible, like this man is beating heavyweight champions every time he goes in the ring. Javante Tank Davis's last fight was against a contender. Frank Martin was a contender for a championship. Frank Martin should have been fighting the pool of B level fighters so that he can prove himself and move up in the ranks. Now, if you don't know much about Frank Martin, he's a late bloomer, so he's kind of been on the accelerated program because he's shown tremendous promise. But all in all, even with all of that potential and promise, Frank Martin ain't nowhere near on Tank Davis's level. And I've been trying to say this and sing this as much as I can just to keep things in perspective. But of course, I've been ridiculed as a hater and all this kind of stuff. But I'm just saying, like, bro, don't get too excited about Tank Davis beating guys that we all knew he was gonna beat. I said this before. If Frank Martin was to beat Tank Davis, it would be the upset of the century. Understand? It wouldn't just be the upset of the night, the upset of this era. We can go back as far as 100 years, I would bet, and it would no greater upset. Excuse me. There would be no greater upset in the sport of boxing than one of the names on Javante Tank Davis's list beating him. Respect to Hector Garcia, respect to that cheating Ryan Garcia, respect to Frank Martin and Rowley and Isaac Cruz. None of these dudes are on Tank Davis's level. There are very few fighters, all right? I will give you to you groupies, you Tank Davis groupies. And there are very few fighters that are on Tank Davis's level, but these are the same fighters that he refuses to fight or he's been ducking for years, a la Lomachenko. When Loma was in his, in his groove and he was knocking them down like bowling pins, Tank Davis didn't want no smoke. And it was even to the point where, and there's footage out here, for you Tank Davis groupies, there's footage out here of Floyd Mayweather using Loma's name to threaten Tank Davis, and you can see the fear in his eyes then. Um, and I'm not this not a Tank Davis bashing video, you know what I'm saying? If anything, I'm always gonna bash his groupies, but all in all, the man resume is not it ain't nothing to brag about, bro. There's no 50-50 fights on Tank Davis resume. And I compared it to the likes of Bud Crawford versus Errol Spence. Before those two brothers fought, it was a lot of 50-50. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it could go this way, it could go that way. You never think that way when it comes to a Tank Davis fight. And that's my only indictment against Tank. I don't know if he's doing this or the PBC is doing this, but he keeps being lined up with fighters that nobody thinks is going to beat him. Nobody thought that Frank Martin was going to beat him. If anything, the narrative was that Frank Martin is a great challenge for Tank Davis, and that wasn't the case because, Tank Davis has 80 championship rounds. He knows what the pressure feels like. He knows what it's like when the lights are the brightest. Tank Davis knows exactly how to close a fight and do what he needs to do to close a fight. He displayed all of these skills in the Frank Martin fight, but this ain't nothing about Tank that I didn't know personally. Some of you groupies may have learned something during that Frank Martin fight, but everything that I seen Tank Davis execute in the Frank Martin fight, I already knew that. It's already in my evaluation reports when it comes to Tank Davis's talent. So not knocking them, and I don't care. What I mean? I'm at war with the Tank Davis groupies. These niggas is just as bad. These niggas are the bronzexuals of boxing. Let's be 100. Excuse my language. The Tank Davis groupies, not the Tank Davis fans, because I know some real Tank Davis fans that can talk boxing and they are in agreement with me. I'm a Tank Davis fan. I love Tank Davis as far as what he does and what he brings to the ring. But after this sparring match that Floyd Mayweather dropped, he looks human. You know, to be honest. Shout out to Artman the Great. The homie said it. He just looks human. And his fans don't know how to, defend it. So, a lot of them are saying Tank Davis, he lost in the sparring match, but he wouldn't lose in the bright lights. Of course, okay. Now y'all getting around. It's like Floyd set you dummies up. And now y'all coming around. And now we can start having some conversations because if Devin Haney can win in a sparring match, but he can't win in a real match, then now we need to be now we having the conversation that we need to be having for years. Tank Davis needs to come outside and fight Devin Haney. Now here's my what I'm saying, my linchpin in all of this. If Tank Davis beats Devin Haney, he gets my credit. You the face of the boxing. You the man. If you can beat Shakur Stevenson, you further solidify. You the man. You the face of boxing. But Tank ain't never went undisputed. Tank ain't never been the lineal champion. None of this stuff, bro. None of the stuff that he needs to have on his resume to vindicate how he be acting. The man think he Floyd. That's the problem. He think he Floyd. And I made a tweet. I mean, got a couple of laughs, but I made a tweet, referencing how Tank Davis is just having PBC exhibitions. You know what I mean? Every time we see Floyd outside with his exhibitions, he's going up against some person that we know he's finna manhandle. And so I just feel like Tank is pulling that kind of number, but he's actually in his professional boxing career just running exhibitions. And again, his fans don't see nothing wrong with it. But as a boxing fan myself, I don't want to see a bully versus somebody else. You know what I mean? That's how it's starting to feel. Like Tank just bullies these dudes. These dudes that everybody know he's going to bully. Nobody thought Frank, again, excuse me, let me just throw this disclaimer out there. Nobody thought Frank Martin was going to beat Tank Davis, respectfully, you know. And if you did have Frank Martin beating Tank Davis, you probably related to Frank Martin. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. I don't think Errol Spence had Frank Martin losing. I mean, I don't think Errol Spence had Tank Davis losing to Frank Martin. You know what I mean? And Errol Spence is Frank Martin's, that's his guy. So, it's just to a point where I know I sound like a hater, but I don't care. But I'm tired of seeing Tank Davis beat up on dudes he's supposed to beat up. He's supposed to have knocked out Frank Martin. You know what I mean? That wasn't no breaking news. In fact, that's why the sparring tape has gone as viral as it has. You know what I mean? If Tank fought somebody of note and he got vindicated that night, this sparring tape wouldn't hit as hard. You know what I mean? It would probably hit hard as far as the Tank Davis Devin Haney beef. But the reason why it's going viral, ladies and gentlemen, is because two things really. Devin Haney beat Tank, he beat him up. We've been lied to, we've been hoodwinked by AB, amongst others, telling different versions of the story when it comes to this spar tape. Yes, that's right, y'all. Devin Haney beat Tank Davis up in a sparring tape. I've seen this. I tried to give Tank Davis did have a couple, moments, but he had a lot of bad moments. He had way more bad moments than the two good moments he had. So it's like it's a 20-minute tape. Tank he giving Devin Haney a minute worth of competition, and you can just tell like he overmatched, bro. Devin Haney is literally too big, and not in the sense of weight, but Devin Haney has reach. Devin Haney has range. You know what I mean? He ain't got to just sit there and, or let me say it like this: the difference between what Devin Haney can do and what we seen in the Frank Martin fight. Devin Haney has a very tricky jab that he uses multiple ways that keeps fighters off of him. In addition to that, Devin Haney has mastered footwork. The same way we seen Frank Martin getting caught up on those ropes and looking like a deer in headlights, that won't happen to Devin Haney. Devin Haney knows how to turn his opponent. He knows how to, shoulder roll out of situations. So even if it looked like it was getting dark for Devin Haney, um, he knows he got enough wily tricks up his sleeves to keep the fight going. And I don't think after this Ryan Garcia fight, hopefully my boy is the same. But I don't think after this Ryan Garcia fight that he's going to be approaching his fights the same way. I think we're gonna get back to some of that outside stick and jab, stick and move type Devin Haney that we used to see, like versus the Kambosos fight. It was pretty much after the first Kambosos fight that he quit boxing like that, and now we see him, a little bit more of a type of fighter that'll stand in there and throw with you. But I always love that outside boxing Devin Haney. Like screw these fans, bro. Forget boxing, and I say that because I'm a boxer. Forget these boxing stands, these trolls. You can tell a troll real quick, bro. They disrespectful. They cap. They say something that they heard on TV. You can tell a troll very fast. A troll will tell you, who he is, very fast. Even if they can hide it for a little minute, you'll see it. It'll seep right through. So, but outside of that, I don't think Tank has the same advantages over Devin Haney. And after seeing this sparring tape, I see why Tank gets triggered every time he hears Devin Haney's name. I see it clearly. I can see clearly now. The sparring tape is out. Why Tank Davis gets triggered every time he hears Devin Haney's name. He don't want no problems, man. At the end of the day, Tank knows what all of us real boxing savants knows. Devin Haney is a problem. And y'all you fools out here talking about, oh, he got a loss to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia cheated. Ryan Garcia is being sued, and Ryan Garcia is going to be suspended. And so y'all gonna look further like clowns because y'all was defending this nigga. Excuse my language. I feel like I'm in the hood sometimes. I've been defending Ryan Garcia, and before the drug test came back bad, before his B samples came back dirty, and now y'all defending him. It's ridiculous, bro. It's crazy. I just found out one of my mans, one of my closest homies, out here talking about Devin Haney got a loss. So what? Yeah, it's like, bro, get out of here, bro. You're done. You know what I mean? And I definitely appreciate all love and support that I get, but I don't want to be loved and supported by scumbags. I'm gonna be 100, bro. If you one of them types, if you one of these type of dudes that say Devin Haney got a loss, and then you can follow that up with so what? Go ahead, remove yourself from my channel. You ain't gotta support me, bro, because those are the kind of dudes I find to be repulsed. You know what I mean? Y'all are very biased, and y'all if you know if it happened to Tank Davis or one of your favorite fighters that you groupie over, you have a totally different opinion, and that's what I can't respect. Because if Ryan cheated or if Devin Haney cheated, I'm holding them both to the same expectation, the same standard. If it came out that Devin Haney was popped for two illegal substances, this video would be an indictment towards, would be calling out the indictment towards Devin Haney. I can't respect no cheater, bro. I'm an athlete myself. I'm a competitor. Thank God back in my day when I was in the prime of my athletics, you didn't have this kind of nonsense going around. Back in my day, everybody was, for the most part, you know what I'm saying, we was all dogs, and everybody was trying to prove that they was the best man that day. But nowadays, the game has changed, and these fans are even weirder than these clown athletes. That I'm trying to what do you call it? Quotation marks athletes. So I would not call Ryan Garcia an athlete. Ryan Garcia is a social media uh, influencer. One of them weirdos. He ain't no athlete, bro. And at the end of the day, like I say, all y'all out here talking about Devin Haney lost. So what? Here's that sparring tape for you. Enjoy it. Because that just how these Tank Davis groupies acting, it just lets me know y'all triggered. Y'all just as triggered as Tank every time Devin Haney pull up and prove that he the best, that he the face of boxing. Tank Davis don't want no smoke. Y'all act like Tank Davis and Devin Haney wasn't in the same division for 5 years, guys. They're in their primes now. It would be nice to see this fight now, but for 5 years, Tank was fighting at 135. Devin was fighting at 135, and we didn't hear Tank say nothing about Devin. When it was time to talk about Devin, every time Devin booked a fight, or Tank booked a fight, he started talking about Devin to sell his fight or to try to detract from Devin's fights. But yeah, man. Shout out to Floyd Mayweather, man. And I don't say that much. I think Floyd Mayweather is a sucker. But he did his thing with this particular expose of his former protege. And I'm gonna do a pre-recorded video because shout out to Carcino for Life. Big Bro went into deep details as far as why is Gervonta Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather beefing, and so I'm at the spread tell y'all that news from my channel. Again, I love Cino and I like what he do. He definitely be informing the game, but I know uh, a lot of times people don't like to listen to Cino for whatever reason. I've had people tell me in the these YouTube communities for whatever reason Cino get a lot of hate, man. He one of my favorite YouTubers, so um, whatever case, you know what I mean. He gave us a lot of information. If you don't want to listen to the brother, then I'm just gonna drop the information that he dropped and give my reaction to it. But we're gonna do that in the pre-record because it is very interesting. The relationship between Tank Davis and Floyd Mayweather. But again, shout out to Floyd for dropping this tape. The Tank groupies are triggered, but when are they not? But if y'all don't mind, please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. A little bit of help goes a long way, and I can never say thank y'all enough. I greatly, greatly appreciate it for real, man. And if y'all don't mind, I like to just promote my sports blog, Tony the Savant on paper. And so, a lot of people rock with me through the videos. They all pull up on the audios. I definitely appreciate that. But my lifelong uh, talent gifts has always been writing. I am currently writing a book. I've written. I've been writing that. I've written music. I've written books. I've written comic strips. You know what I mean? Comic scripts, I should say, not strips, but it's the matter of the fact that that's just my MO, my talent. On paper, it's not exactly clean. As it has some grammatical errors. I don't get the time to always just sit down and edit every blog, but y'all get the gist of it. I'm actually in the market for an editor. I'm looking for somebody that could be a little bit more dedicated to that. But at the end of the day, on paper sports blogs for those that like to get their sports in print, we offering that as well. And I'm just doing my thing, man. I definitely appreciate the love and support. I cannot say thank y'all enough. But let's get to our last topic today. As yesterday, happy Father's Day to all the pops out there. Happy belated Father's Day, I should say. I was in the middle of celebrating mine, man, with the oh crap. Sorry again. Kids are up. All right. In fact, guys, we're gonna have to cut this one short. I was about to cook on this Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese thing, but I will pop back out once I get the little Savant settled, and we will get into that bag. As a shout out to my boy James McIntyre, Big J, hit me up and he was telling me I got to get onto this topic. So this definitely one I want to cook on. I might even have to go live or just do a pre-recorded to really get into the details of this one. I am hitting about that 45-minute mark on this show anyway. But again, happy Father's Day to everybody, man. Thank y'all for the love and support. Please like this video, all that good stuff. We will pop back out for the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark situation that happened yesterday. The lamestream media is going berserk, which we all knew that they would over this situation. But I'm gonna give my 2 cents on it. It is your boy Tony the Savant. Thank y'all, man. Peace.